my scaling play is what you guys probably clicked this video for, other than the top-down analysis. I probably put too much information in this video, but I'm still going to give it to you guys anyway. You could be doing this and possibly netting $1.6 thousand a day. That adds up to about 4.5K a week and about 19K a month. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Justice Gamble from Gamble and Grow Capital here. This channel is all about money mindset and trading. And the info that I'm about to drop on you guys right here, some people do typically charge for. Not me personally. All I ask is that you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment, as it does go a long way and supports the mission. All right, so getting into my top-down analysis, which is what this video focuses on mainly. I'm just going to go through how I mark up my charts. I start from high to low, and then I'm going to give you guys an example of a trade that I could have profited from just following this strategy alone. Now, please keep in mind that this is something that works for me, and not everything that I give you is going to work for you. You have to take this, and I recommend journaling your trades and figure out what works with you, and then follow along with these plays that I'm going to give to you in today's video. So getting into the first thing that I like to do when I get on is, initially, I like to go to my effects book, and then I'll just look to see what time any news is coming out, simply because I have an account where I can't trade a minute before or a minute after news has been released. So let me just continue my effects book. And basically all my effects book does is give you the times and whether it's high impact or low impact, which you can see here. And it'll tell you, hey, this is high impact news. And typically it's not something I like to trade because it will increase volatility in the markets and could potentially mess up a perfect picture setup. Right after that, what I like to do is then go to the weekly. If it's the start of the week, I don't check the weekly every day, as it doesn't change every day, simply because it takes a whole week for that candle to form fully. So only time I check is at the beginning of the week. All right, so looking at this weekly chart, there's not really much to see. It does go all the way back to November 2024. We're not worried about that. When you are in the higher time frames, you want to look to stay closer to the current day. So this is the current day candle of this week, of last week actually. And all I like to do is mark out last week's high and last week's low, because next week this will be important information. So we got the high here. And then we're going to mark out the low here. And simply to find the high and low of the week is, you go in the weekly time frame, and the most recent candle is either that current week, and then the candle right before that is the last week. I can't mark out this week's candle because it's currently Saturday and it's not out yet. It comes out tomorrow. It'll start forming tomorrow, and then I don't typically use that week high because it hasn't formed yet. It takes a whole week for it to form. So I mark out last week's high and last week's low. And that's typically all I really look for in the weekly candle. You can see here on the weekly time frame that there is an imbalance here. And pretty much all the imbalance is, if you see two candlesticks, so let me just give you guys a visual representation. Say you see two candlesticks going up, right? And we call this the imbalance simply because we can see that price on this candle here has not yet formed. So it could look like this, it could be small. And what we like to see with imbalances is we like to see price come back to trade into them. And let's say this candle wick came back to touch this wick after opening and closing. Let's say here, let's say open and close there. It's a doji candle. It still came, and you can tell that this imbalance was filled because this candlestick's wick right here came back to touch this wick here. What we call this is a gap fill, fair value gap fill. How I identify fair value gaps is almost the same as finding an imbalance. Instead, this candlestick would be, and pretty much what we would be looking for is if this first candlestick or if this third candlestick, which wick touches. So this is what price will look like live. You will see price open here. It will start going up, start going down a little bit, then continue going up. Then a little bit later, it might come back down a little bit, and it'll look something like that. Price opened here at this area, went up here to this area, closed up here. Did this wick touch this wick? Well, how we can identify that is by drawing a rectangle and then seeing that there's a gap there. This here will now be a fair value gap, what we would call FVG, fair value gap. So you'll see me use that terminology a lot. That's simply what it means. Getting into the next couple steps, after identifying what a fair value gap and imbalance is and how to identify one, let's go to the daily time frame now. Now the daily time frame, we got these marked out. We see here that we got the last week's high, and we got last week's low, and we got the weekly imbalance here marked out. From this point on, what we like to look for is an initial trend from previous days. So each candle shows one day. What we like to do is just look back, keep it simple. Look back one candle and see, was it bullish or was it bearish? If it's bullish, it's more likely going to continue to be bullish, and that's what I'm betting on. I see here we have 2 bullish and a little red. So if you pay attention to the last segment we just went over, this right here is a 1 hour imbalance that maybe price can look to retrace into to continue higher. From the daily time frame, we got our bias. We think price wants to go up. That's actually a daily imbalance on a 1 hour imbalance. All right, so now we got daily imbalance marked off. We can now continue. Now we have our initial trend and what we want to see happen. We want to see it continue bullish because the last 2 days were bullish. We're expecting it to continue lower a little bit and fill this daily imbalance and then continue higher. Now we go to the 4 hour time frame, and in the 4 hour time frame, we're gonna have to zoom out a little bit. We're now looking for gaps and imbalances to align with this initial trend. Look for gaps that haven't been filled. We actually have one here that has been filled, and if we look here, before this handle right here formed, price came and it filled this 4 hour imbalance there. So we got 1, 2, 3 candles from this candlestick's wick to this candlestick wick. Before it filled, there was an imbalance. Price came, retraced lower, touched into this gap. We could have gotten long here, targeting these highs, the weekly highs. That is a trade we could have gotten into on Friday, but it's a little later in the day. We don't take trades that late in the day, so it's not nothing we missed. It just didn't happen in our time frame. We will execute this on the 1 hour time frame, and we could clearly see here it hit this weekly high here and retrace here. And if we want to even get a little deeper and get a little bit more confluences, we could take a Fibonacci from that low to this weekly high here, and we can see that this 4 hour imbalance, it's in that 62 to 88% range is what we like to actually look for. So this range right here is what we like to look for, this yellow range that you're seeing. We like to look to take trades out of there. That's what the percentage levels that we like to look for. As y'all see, you got the 38.20, the 62, and the 88. So this was actually a picture perfect setup that actually did play out. If we would have gotten at this imbalance fill, like I said, let's just say we got in with 100 point stop loss just to play it safe, because it was a picture perfect entry. And typically with picture perfect entries, I like to go for my regular risk, 1 to 3s. And you would see that we wouldn't have got stopped out, and that price would have went to a 1 to 3 easily, targeting those highs. So that is my system. That is my, I would say, entry play. And this kind of tags along into what I'm gonna get into next. So going over everything that I just showed you guys, that's what gives me confidence to execute trades daily and just stay confident in my system and not doubt myself. Using those confluences, they work for me. Like I said, it might not work for you. You have to journal your trades and then take the information from the journal and use what works for you. Like I said, getting into the next segment of this video, I don't call anything a plan. I don't have a trading plan. I don't have a daily plan. I have daily plays. Why do you call them plays and not plans? Simply because sometimes plans fall through. And as long as the quarterback hikes the ball, which is me, I'm the quarterback. As long as I wake up every morning, that play is going to get ran. Simple as that. I'm the quarterback of my own story, on my own team. And as long as I'm waking up every morning, that ball is going to get snapped and I'm going to run that play. So these plays that I have installed for you guys in this video, it consists of 5 plays. We got the scaling play, we have the trade play, we have the content play, we have the risk play, and then we have the daily habit play. Now, if you like how I just put everything together and it makes sense to you, this is something I stand on and stick by daily. And if you want to implement any of this into your life, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be emphasizing this daily. Getting into the trade play, simply like I just went over, I analyze my charts. I start on the weekly, at the beginning of the week, but after the beginning of the week, I start on the daily, I go to the 4 hour, and then I execute on the 1 hour. So we start high, go to low, and we execute on the lower time frame. The lowest time frame I use is 1 hour, simply because anything under 1 hour, it gives you false trade ideas, and you'll see a lot of your setups. So I promise you, any strategy you have, you'll see a lot of your setups on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30, 10, whatever you use, you'll see a lot, simply because how low the time frame is. When it comes to setups in my trade play, I look for fair value gap fills, I look for false breaks, and I like to see highs and lows get ran. That kind of tags along into false breaks. If you're not sure what any of this means, I will have a different video getting deeper in, as this is not a tutorial on how to run my strategy. It's just giving you guys a rundown of my top-down analysis. In my other plays, I have content. In that play, it includes waking up every morning and recording a video intro on my Sony camera, which I'm using now. And then from there, I like to go live on Twitch. You can catch me live at Gamble and Grow Capital on Twitch on the screen here. Catch me live 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. every weekday. If I'm not live, you'll get a post on YouTube, so make sure you guys got the notices on, hit that up. I like to record every morning, whether it's me working out, whatever I got going on that day. Typically, I don't have too much going on, as I'm still trying to get some things in order so I can have a lot more content for you guys. Afterward, I like to sit down after my day. I like to gather my recordings together. I like to edit my videos and post them to YouTube. Now, getting into my good habits play / my daily habits play. It's just like investment strategies and stuff, just to stay on top of my books. I want to save a certain amount of money every month. I want to invest a certain amount of money every month. And then it's just a whole list of what I want to invest in and what you guys can invest into, which is high yield interest accounts. My Ninja Trader account, which is my live account, I'm going to fund that slowly build that equity, and then eventually trade with that capital live and use payouts from this prop firm to fund that account as well. And then the last one is XRP. That's the last investment I want to invest in. Besides my Vanguard account and everything, that's a whole different strategy. It's a whole different thing. Yeah, I want any details on that, comment down below. Just comment Vanguard and I'll make sure I get a video or short uploaded on it as soon as possible. Now, my daily play of action consists of waking up at 8, working out, trading, freshening up, and then going to work. I do have a 9 to 5. I am not a full-time trader. No, we all have dreams of being a full-time trader, and if you guys have that same dream, I'm following it here. You can follow your dream with me. Hit that sub button. Let's go together and we can all do this thing together. Last and final play is my risk play. I like to risk 200 to 400 daily, and it'll grow as I get more confidence in what I'm doing and just get more reps and everything in what I do. And then I have a maximum trades per day, which is 2 trades. My scaling play is what you guys probably clicked the video for, other than the top-down analysis. I probably put too much information in this video, but I'm still going to give it to you guys anyway. Alright, so this is my board where I got all my plays written out. This is everything we went over already. I'm just going to be getting into more of my scaling play in this clip. As you can see, we have plays for everything, payday play, everything. We have plays for everything. I'm just going to be quickly getting into my scaling play. So getting into my scaling play is really simple and easy to follow for you guys and me. All you have to do is step 1, buy your evals, 2 accounts, 25K. Follow your strict trading plan, which we went over for me earlier in this video. Copy trade to Tradeovate accounts. Make sure when you buy your challenges, you buy Tradeovate accounts. And then on step 4, you gain experience through trial and error. So you got to be comfortable in your wins. It's okay to take a loss. I've accepted that. My losses only make me stronger, prepare me for the next weeks to come. And that not every day you need to take a trade. Not taking a trade does allow you to come back tomorrow and have a clear head. So if you know that you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, just choose to take the day off. It's not going to kill you. It's only going to make you stronger and allow you to trade another day. And that's the whole point of being a trader. You want to be able to come back the next day and trade. And you're not going to be able to do that if you sit around blowing your accounts all day. Step 5, pass the evals. Step 6, continue same process. Step 7, get a payout. Step 8, rinse and repeat. Now that's all straightforward. Everything else to the right is kind of what we went over earlier, except that you could be doing this and possibly netting $1.6 thousand a day. That adds up to about 4.5K a week and about 19K a month. Now, my goal is only to withdraw 5K because, as we know, not every week is going to be a winning week. So that 19K is possible if you were to just go all week month trading, which could happen sometimes. But being realistic, I chose to just stick to my 5K withdrawals every 2 weeks, if possible. If y'all like the way this sounds and y'all want to run it up and y'all want to use this model, hit that sub button, hit that like button, and it's as simple as that. If you got value from this video, drop a like, subscribe, and comment run the play so I know you made it this far. We're building wealth and skill over here and replacing problems with profit. If that sounds good to you, let's grow. I'll see y'all boys in the next one.